Curious, as these teams start to take shape in 2023 and then 2024, like what was your leadership style in conjunction with a player like Caitlin, but also the rest of your teammates?
Yeah, I would say like definitely those first 2 years, we definitely were working together to like, I was definitely more of like the calmer presence and being like, hey, like look me in the eyes, you know, deep breath, like it's all gonna be okay. And I think like the leadership style that I really had was just like trust in me, because she had seen me like putting in the work in the gym. She knew how much I cared. Like,
what happens when your best friend is the biggest deal in college basketball? Kate Martin knows the answers, and trust me, she's spilling all the tea. From Caitlin Clark's absolutely wild on-court antics to the utterly hilarious chaos happening off the court, Kate is dishing out the unforgettable saga of their Iowa journey. Imagine epic dunks, inside jokes you'd kill to hear, and yes, even a rogue squirrel. Intrigued? You should be. This wasn't just about hoops. It was pure behind-the-scenes genius, sprinkled with the kind of laughs you never knew you were missing. Let's just say, life in Iowa was anything but boring.
Wrap your head around 139 games. Like, that seems like a ton of games, and lucky enough we've had postseasons where we've got a lot of extra games, whether it's been the Big Ten tournament, whether it's been the NCAA tournament. We've been able to have some long seasons, and that's something I'm really thankful for. And to be honest, like, I don't think I have the type of career if I don't have a teammate like Kate. She's been one that has had my back. You know, she holds me accountable, I hold her accountable, but I think at the same time, like, me and Kate are wired so similarly that like we get each other on a different level. She's so competitive. You know, her dad was a football coach growing up.
That entire era, it was legendary. We're talking full-blown folklore status. Kate Martin wasn't just on the team, she was the team, the heart, the glue, the loudest sideline hype squad, the floor general, the locker room therapist, the designated team mom, and somehow also the stealthiest team prankster. She didn't just play basketball, she lived it with an almost alarming caffeinated intensity that would make you want to dive for a loose ball even if you were just chilling on your couch watching on a Tuesday night.
For this, because you were the first person who I felt like said, yeah, Kate Martin's a pro. Like, draft Kate Martin, she's gonna be able to do different things. I think you started saying that you're either sophomore or junior year. And you know, media members aside, I'm not, you know, maybe it's me, maybe it's not me, not gonna throw myself under the bus here. We were like, you know what, I think she could be a fringe WNBA player. She has potential, but you know, Caitlin's given her endorsement. If there's one thing I've learned about you in covering you for 4 or 5 years or whatever, how long it's been, when you talk ball, you genuinely talk basketball. Like, there's no relationship attached. So I guess, how do you feel about Kate doing really well and Unrivaled so far, and now she's getting a chance at the Valkyrie to really make a statement next year?
And now she's out there making her WNBA dream a reality, like a real-life sports movie where she's not just the star, but also the director, the cinematographer, and probably the one who curated the perfect pump-up soundtrack. Let's be real here. Kate wasn't merely a leader for that Iowa squad. She was the living embodiment of what it means to be a team. While Caitlin Clark was busy sinking logo threes and openly defying the laws of physics, Kate was the one ensuring every single player knew the scout, stayed locked in defensively, and crucially remembered to hydrate.
So Caitlin Clark revealed her squad goals, sort of. This is a play on words, a pun, if you will, just having a little fun with Caitlin Clark's latest interview. She did an appearance with, I believe his name pronunciation is David Eichel of Swarmcast 24/7 Sports. I will link the full piece.
Every single time Iowa needed a spark, or maybe a perfectly timed sarcastic jab to break the tension, Kate Martin was the one who delivered. And Golden State? You mean the literal House of Splash, a place where basketball IQ is arguably even more valuable than a 40-inch vertical. Could there possibly be a more perfectly poetic landing spot for a player who embodies pure hustle, genuine brains, and then more hustle for good measure? She fits right in, carving through defenses like a hot knife through butter, or more accurately, defensive miscommunications, draining corner threes as if they personally offended her, and setting screens like she's getting paid a bonus for every bruise she inflicts.
Real quick, what did you notice about Caitlin's like work ethic?
Yeah.
Was there anything that stood out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she was in the gym constantly. Yeah. And it was like the way she approached everything too was like, it was like with a sort of excellence. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna go through the motions and like whatever. It was like, no, like, I'm here to kick your butt in every single drill. every single practice, like, and especially whenever our like gray squad guys were playing against us, it was like, if you're across from me, you're my enemy, you know? And like, I think that's just kind of how you have to approach things to get better. And she had that, you know, next level mindset, and it really just raised us all up with her.
Yeah, I feel like
The Warriors might bring the glitz, but Kate brings that unapologetic Midwestern grit, that corn-fed tenacity that just screams, yeah, I boxed out for 14 years before I even thought about taking a shot. And don't even get me started on her draft night arc. That whole story deserves its own Hallmark movie. She wasn't even planning to be drafted. She just showed up to cheer on Caitlyn, probably figuring she'd clap, shout encouragement, and maybe sneak a Sprite. Then next thing you know, she's walking up in heels she didn't expect to wear, shaking Kathy Engelbert's hand like she'd been expecting it all along. It was, without a doubt, the most wholesomely unexpected plot twist in WNBA history. And in Vegas, my god, she absolutely thrived. Of course she did. Kate simply doesn't do background roles. Even as a rookie, she strode into that locker room like she'd been there since Bill Laimbeer first invented defense. Whether she was playing hard-nosed minutes in actual games or dominating those mid-practice drills that nobody else ever wants to run, Kate brought that quintessential Big Ten attitude. Zero excuses, 0 days off, and absolutely zero weak sauce. She won over Becky Hammon in about 4 seconds flat, and even the grizzled vets adore her because she consistently does the small foundational things that make the big things possible. She always knows precisely where to be. She communicates like a point guard with a PhD in yelling the right thing at the exact right time, and she treats the ball like it's made of pure scorching lava.
The workout or training video, I've discussed how Caitlin Clark is going to have time to work on her game that she otherwise hasn't had before. She went straight from college to the pros, grueling schedule to start the WNBA season. It's a scary thought for the rest of the league. I've articulated that on many occasions, but she said it herself too, which of course adds fuel to that. And then the other was Unrivaled, and Kate Martin's performance at Unrivaled. Kate Martin has looked great thus far at Unrivaled, obviously. Kate and Caitlyn.
Then came the official move to Golden State, and that's where the basketball gods literally looked down and declared, yep, she's one of our absolute favorites. Because in that specific system, one built entirely on constant movement, lightning fast reads, and split-second decisions, Kate Martin isn't just a player, she's practically a living, breathing algorithm. You blink and she's already cutting back door for an easy layup. You dare to help off her for a moment, and she's drilling a three like it's just a casual practice shot. You overplay the handoff, and suddenly she's blown past you, dished it off, high-fived a kid in the third row, and clapped on defense, all before you've even recovered. It's almost infuriating how much perfect sense it all makes. And look, Kate isn't merely a player, she's a magnetic presence. Every Iowa fan, every neutral observer, even the casual fans who only tuned in because they heard Caitlyn was about to drop 40, they all noticed her. She was always in the huddles, calling things out, slapping backs, doling out encouragement like it was Halloween candy, and the fans absolutely felt that connection. That's precisely why she has this literal army of supporters who proudly wear her jersey even when she's on the bench, because they instinctively know she gets it. She fundamentally understands what sports are truly about.
like looking back on it, and then even just talking to you now, it's like, yes, Caitlyn is like a big focal point of the team, gonna have to do a lot of the scoring, all the things. And you, it's almost like good cop, bad cop or something.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mean it in like
yeah.
literal terms, but she just had to like be herself.
That undeniable fire was always going to win you games. But then beyond that, she also had this incredible knack for being a calming force amidst the storm. And that, my friends, is true teamwork, genuine humility, unyielding tenacity, and that subtle, almost defiant ability to laugh when the ref inexplicably calls a charge that was absolutely, definitively not a charge. Her story is the perfect alchemy of preparation meeting fate, hard work intertwining with heart, and then, just to make it truly legendary, throwing in a little extra sparkle. And honestly, there's something profoundly satisfying about watching someone who wasn't supposed to make it, not just make it, but absolutely thrive. Kate's success feels personal. It's like watching your best friend not only get a huge promotion, but then also casually become the CEO. She was that teammate who somehow managed to pick everyone up, who'd pass up her own wide open shots just so someone else could build their confidence, who dive for loose balls even when they were up by 30 points, and who always looked like she was having the absolute time of her life. The entire Iowa squad was built on synergy, but Kate was undeniably the nerve center, the unsung hero who finally got sung. Even now, years later, we're all still walking around saying, remember that one time, Kate? Like it was just last week. And when you love the game the way she does, you never truly leave that team. You carry it with you. You become it. That's why Iowa fans still ride for her like she's in the Big Ten tournament right now. That's why Caitlin Clark still lights up like a Christmas tree whenever she talks about Kate.
Y'all, I think teammate relationships are like some of the most special and unique relationships you can have. This is Caitlin Clark, this is Kate Martin. They both played at Iowa, and tonight they'll play for the first time in the WNBA. And this is the moment that they see each other for the first time on the court. Like I said, the teammate relationship is already so special, but you can just imagine in Caitlin Clark's position, where she's already admitted it's quite isolating being this popular at this point, so much so that she doesn't really go out very much. Not to mention there's been so much criticism online, not by the players, but simply the territory that comes with being a popular woman in the women.
That's precisely why every former teammate likely has a Kate Martin saved me from spiraling before practice story, or a Kate Martin said something so hilarious during warm-ups it broke the tension right before we beat Indiana by 22 moment. That kind of vibe, that specific chemistry and magnetism is just incredibly rare. She's the kind of person who is so genuinely likable that even opposing fans find themselves thinking, ugh, she's so charming, it's ruining my trash talk. Even the mascots probably adore her. She probably fist bumped the Lynx mascot and now they're pen pals. She's that cool. She brings undeniable main character energy, but in the least egotistical way possible. Like she knows she's good, but she'd genuinely prefer you have the spotlight. She'll just be over there, casually out-rebounding someone 5 inches taller and dishing out dimes like she's a vending machine of assists. And not to mention, we desperately need more stories like hers in sports. More wasn't supposed to go pro, but worked too hard not to be noticed arcs. More people who simply show up, put in the relentless work, and then, when their number is finally called, they're not just ready, they're ridiculously overqualified. Kate Martin never needed flashy mixtapes, massive NIL deals, or a dozen viral clips. Though, to be fair, she probably has a few of those too. She just needed a chance. And now that she's got it, she's making every single minute count. Look out, world.
At Unrivaled thus far, there's no question about that. And it's funny that Caitlin emphasized exactly what Kate had said about playing free. Those were the words Kate Martin used when she talked about her unrivaled excellence. So it's fascinating to see it echoed. I don't know if that's because they talked or just they think alike. Obviously, they play alike in the way that they understand where to be on the floor together. They had so much success together. And I think a lot of people are excited about the possibility of what Kate Martin can do with the Valkyries, Caitlin Clark included, despite her saying she wants to recruit her and team up again.
So yeah, I'm always going to love Kate, always going to root for her like she's still back in Iowa City, leading that huddle, diving for that loose ball, clapping enthusiastically for her teammates. Because whether she's in black and gold, red and silver, or blue and gold, the sheer energy she brings is exactly the same. And if basketball truly has a soul, and believe me it does, then Kate Martin is unequivocally one of the primary reasons why. And then of course, there was that run, that utterly unhinged, adrenaline-fueled, what on earth is happening sprint that culminated in Iowa's first national championship game appearance in program history. Caitlin Clark went full scorched earth, completely redefining what it means to be a walking bucket, dropping an unbelievable 41 points on LSU as if it were a deeply personal vendetta. And then, with barely a breath, she turned around and did the exact same thing, 41 more points, against undefeated South Carolina, like it was just a casual Tuesday cardio session. You could practically hear the collective gasp of the entire basketball world from outer space. She wasn't merely hoping, she was orchestrating a full-blown basketball opera, where every single three-pointer was a soprano note so high it made your eyebrows jump off your face. But let's be brutally honest, none of that happened in a vacuum. You don't pull off back-to-back 41-point explosions in the NCAA tournament without an extraordinary supporting cast that knows how to move, how to screen, how to defend, and how to read your brain like a psychic with a clipboard.
In her last game, Kate Martin had one of the best games in her WNBA career. She went off for 14 points in limited minutes, but let's watch some of these highlights because I feel like she finally found her groove. She was playing in the flow of the offense. As you can see here, she goes for a fast break. She beats her player off the dribble, goes left. And a lot of fans were saying, like, this looks like the OG Kate Martin, the Iowa Kate Martin. She is finally, finding her rhythm and getting involved, and she has a much bigger role on this
And that, my friends, is precisely where Kate Martin came in, functioning like a human Swiss Army knife with a built-in heart rate monitor. To say she was integral doesn't even begin to cover it. She was the very pulse of that team. While Caitlin was out there single-handedly rewriting the scoring section of the rulebook, Kate was expertly holding down literally everything else. The rotations, the subtle momentum shifts, and the crucial emotional thermostat of the entire squad. Against LSU, Kate was out there making defensive reads look like she'd secretly seen the script a week in advance. She closed out on shooters like it was the most important job interview of her life. She hit incredibly timely shots, boxed out opponents like a bruising power forward straight out of 1992, and generally operated with the kind of Supreme Court awareness that makes seasoned coaches openly weep tears of pure joy. Then came the South Carolina game, a true juggernaut matchup, the undefeated Goliath versus the flame-throwing David, and Kate Martin once again absolutely delivered. She was crashing the glass like she was being charged per rebound, staying glued to defenders like Velcro with a college degree, and making passes that kept the offense flowing like a perfectly caffeinated river. People love to remember the dagger shots from Caitlin, but ask any real Iowa fan and they'll tell you Kate Martin was the quiet force who made sure the train didn't fall off the tracks. She was the one constantly talking through switches, calming down the bench when tensions flared, offering a quick shoulder squeeze when someone looked overwhelmed, and then, without a fuss, casually drilling a corner three like, oh, don't mind me, just saving our offensive possession here. And then there's the undeniable fact that she accomplished all of this without ever making it about herself. Zero ego, maximum unforgettable impact.
I would say so. Like, I just remember you have that summer before, and she was doing things that I had never seen anybody do before. And as a freshman, to come in and have that kind of confidence, like, not everybody has that. Like, I was like, oh, I haven't really seen anything like this. And so we knew she was going to be outstanding. And then, at the beginning of the year, we had some big wins, and there was highs and lows that year for sure. But, it took us a little bit to figure it out. But it obviously turned out better than I could have ever expected or thought.
So when she got picked up by the Valkyries, yes, 1,000 times, yes, a brand new team with a massive vision and an even bigger stage. That is precisely the kind of place where Kate Martin belongs. Because let's be totally honest, she's not just a glue player, she's an industrial strength bonding agent, the kind that holds entire rosters together with an unbreakable grip. The Valkyries didn't just get a basketball player, they secured a genuine culture builder, a coach's absolute dream, and a low-key menace in transition who will absolutely catch you sleeping on a backdoor cut and make you regret every single life decision that led to that moment. She's the rare kind of player who walks into a gym and instantly makes everyone around her better. Need a stop? Kate's already in her defensive stance. Need a bucket? She's perfectly spacing the floor, cutting precisely when you least expect it, and draining open looks like she's cashing checks. Need leadership? Oh, she's had that locked down since Iowa's entire program ran on corn and courage. The Valkyries are lucky. No, they are truly blessed to have her. She's going to walk into that locker room and immediately become everyone's favorite teammate. The rookies will gravitate toward her like she's handing out cheat codes. The veterans will instantly appreciate her unwavering professionalism. And the fans, don't even get me started.
And she works so hard. Like, Kate's still somebody I talk to every single day. And I think just watching her believe in herself from probably my junior year when she was a senior and trying to decide if she was going to even come back and take her 6th year to where she's at now, and seeing her belief and her confidence and herself grow as much as it has, it just makes me really happy because I've always seen that in her. It was just getting her to believe like, I am this really good player. I can grow into becoming this really good player. And she's always had the leadership skills. She's always been the type of person that, you know, whether she's going to get in the game, whether she's going to play 10 minutes, whether she's going to play 30 minutes, she's going to give you every ounce of herself. She's going to cheer as hard on the bench. She's going to play as hard in the...
Because once you start rooting for Kate Martin, you simply never stop. There's just something incredibly magnetic about the way she approaches the game, with this unique blend of fierce intensity, pure joy, and a subtle, mischievous sass that just sneaks up on you. She'll be beaming 1 minute, then suddenly snatch a rebound in heavy traffic with a defiant, mine now, and immediately ignite a fast break like she's got GPS coordinates directly to the basket. She reads the game like it's a deeply romantic novel she's already finished twice. And now that she's in a brand new city, you can absolutely bet she's already found her go-to coffee shop where the barista knows her order and her notebook is already filled with meticulous defensive notes and player tendencies, scribbled down like a basketball FBI agent. She's going to effortlessly transform practices into masterclasses and make post-game interviews into quotable gold mines. The Valkyries are building something special, and you simply cannot construct anything truly memorable without a Kate Martin on the blueprint. And let's not forget the Iowa fans, they're already there. The Martin Hive has officially gone national. Golden State gave us a tantalizing glimpse of how seamlessly she fits into elite level basketball, and now she's got a fresh stage with more minutes and even more chances to truly cook. And cook, she absolutely will. If there's a box score with her name on it, there will always be a stat line that reads plus infinity next to team impact.
You obviously have a player like Caitlin who's on the team. I have to ask, like, when did you first hear about her, and then what were your first impressions of her when she got to campus?
Yeah, she had come on a couple visits, and she was like a big name in Iowa. So I had heard about her. I wasn't from Iowa, so I didn't know as much. And that like all Iowa Attack like AAU program is like so big, and I had no I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, whatever. But it's like a big thing in Iowa, and so I had heard about this Caitlin Clark, and I was like watching videos of her just like having like 40 points.
She's still the exact same Kate who set screens like a linebacker and called out backdoor cutters before they even made their move. Still the same Kate who hit free throws under pressure as calmly as she was microwaving popcorn. Still the same Kate who high-fived teammates like it was an Olympic event and somehow managed to make even the most chaotic possessions end with a decent look. But now, she's doing it all in new colors, for new fans, and with entirely new dreams to fiercely chase. So yes, Caitlin Clark may have dropped 41 and utterly melted every bracket from here to Mars, but Kate Martin was the one who helped build that incredible run. She stabilized it, she fueled it, she brought that indispensable, intangible excellence that makes legends not just possible, but inevitable. And now, she's bringing that exact same fire, that same unadulterated joy, and that same everything to the Valkyries. May the rest of the league prepare accordingly.